How good is my spiky-haired football Jesus, really?
I want to go back. He outplayed Mahomes last week.
Jayden Daniels, Bo Nix. Has Bo cut the lead into the conversation for who's having the best year?
He outplayed Mahomes last week.
And the fact that Bo Nix is really starting to look good.
Rookies don't do that. It's over 80% completion rate.
He outplayed Mahomes 2 weeks ago.
But really helping the team operate the way Sean wants it to. And
the added element of Bo Nix being able to use his feet and to be mobile.
He's got control and he has the answer.
Outplayed Mahomes last week.
Bo Nix, Bo Picks, Bo-lieve, Bo-lieve, Boverthrow, it's Bover, hobosexual. I've heard them all this season. I kind of hate them all at this point, but the fact that I get to do a video about my quarterback playing well is unbelievable to me. Brandon Perna, architect of That's Good Sports, and architect of the building you're probably watching this in. The opinions on Bo Nix have been mixed. They were mixed his entire college career. But from the moment he's been drafted all over the place to even right now as he's playing some very good football. But the range from shame to glaze has been quite entertaining. If the Broncos had defeated the Chiefs in Week 10, coupled with Bo Nix's 4-touchdown performance against the Falcons Week 11, I think he wouldn't just be in the Rookie of the Year conversation, but he would probably be the front runner.
He is a special player, and gosh, is he Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Bo Nix? Holy shit, that guy was fucking ripping it.
Watching a rookie quarterback develop is not for the faint of heart. There are some magnificent highs and some brutal lows, and too many puns with bows. Rarely is their development linear. It certainly hasn't been for Jayden Daniels or Caleb Williams this season, but the 6th quarterback drafted in 2024, Bo Nix, has been close to linear. He has shown an ability to get just a little bit better every single week.
His improvement has been so, it's been gradual but also drastic at the same time, which is kind of a weird thing. Like you've seen him just take huge leaps and bounds in these last, 6-7 games.
And he's doing it with a roster that was deemed the worst in the NFL heading into the 2024 season. I didn't agree with that opinion then. I certainly don't agree with it now. So today, I want to try and answer the tough question, how good is Bo Nix really?
Perna's got you just
red-pilled?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Is he getting a little too much praise after one very, very good game? Or did he earn that shit the right way? That's good sports. If you're feeling every ounce of that Big Nix energy, if you Bo-lieve, go to benchwarmershop.com to get your shirt. If you go there on Black Friday, you can get 30% off, but we got lots of great apparel now.
Might actually listen to Brandon Perna's new Christian worship song before the game. That shit had me so ready to cook some Falcons. If you haven't heard it yet, it's a banger. I highly suggest wearing a helmet before listening to it because you will run through a wall or through a pathetic-ass Atlanta defense. Some haters are talking shit because 2 of my touchdowns were on screen passes, but I'll turn the other cheek and say you can eat my ass.
Okay, let's start with AI Bo Nix right there. A couple of his touchdowns were screen passes against the Falcons. Do you know how I knew he'd be getting hate for that? Because I gave Patrick Mahomes shit in his first season for all those same damn screen and sweep passes Andy Reid was dialing up in the red area. And I remember looking dumber and dumber with each passing week as we watched Mahomes become a juggalo. Sorry, juggernaut. Oh my God, though. How funny would it be if Patrick Mahomes or any elite NFL quarterback was a juggalo? Now, the first few games of this season with Bo Nix were a dick punch. Very underwhelming. Remember, none of the rookie quarterbacks threw a touchdown through the first 2 games of the season. Bo managed to go 3 full games without throwing a TD. Fortunately for Broncos fans, passing across the entire league was abysmal through those first few weeks of football. We did an entire video about the death of the passing league. Before the Rookie of the Month honors, though, before the Rookie of the Year mentions, Bo was getting roasted for having negative passing yards at halftime against the Jets. The football nerds were digging up these damning stats for his NFL debut, his first game ever in a Sean Payton offense. And nobody, besides me and Will Keys, wanted to admit that Nix faced some really tough defenses to start his career. Week 1, Seattle. Their defense had a tremendous start to the season. Week 2, the Steelers. Bo played his first respectable game against the Buccaneers and their injured defense, and then faced Robert Saleh's Jets defense in a downpour. Keep in mind, the Jets were still playing solid defensive football then. Now, a reason everyone outside to say Broncos country continued to sleep on Bo Nix throughout the month of October, despite him winning Rookie of the Month honors, is due to the fact that, statistically speaking, he dug himself into a massive hole in September. Even after 6 games, every metric looked bad. Yards, touchdowns, picks, EPA, performance against the blitz, second worst on third down, you name it. They were not good. The toughest one for me, though, was that Bo Nix was struggling with good protection. He had 3.01 seconds to throw, top 5 in the league. So even as a rookie, if you're struggling with good protection up front, that can be a little concerning, especially for a man notoriously safe with the rock at Oregon. Bo entered October with a 1-4 touchdown to interception stat line. The Raiders game delivered us our first taste of Bope. 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a rushing touchdown. A week later, Denver ran into the Chargers defense that was really good. The problem was, this was before anyone wanted to admit that the Chargers defense was good. Fuck Bo Nix for losing to the Chargers, who just allow an NFL best 14.5 points per game right now, though, right? With the departure of Russell Wilson, so too went the Broncos primetime games. And honestly, I think one of the best things you can wish for your rookie quarterback is very few primetime games. Bo and the Broncos beat the Saints very handily in their lone primetime game on Thursday Night Football. Kind of a half primetime game, really. But all anyone really took away from that game was this pass that fell between 2 open Broncos receivers. Apparently, that was the funniest pass of the decade. Surely, Drake May hasn't made any bad throws on that level, right? The Broncos won in resounding fashion, but the takeaway was not that Nix was good. I love that Saints game because if you check the box score, Bo didn't do much with his arm, right? Just 164 passing yards. He did rush for 75, which for whatever reason has not been seen as a big positive for Bo Nix. Jayden Daniels makes a play with his legs. Weapon. Bo Nix makes a play with his legs. It's because he bailed out of his reads. But in this Saints game, it was apparent that Nix was much further along than another rookie, Spencer Rattler. Similar passing stats, but one guy was in control of the game, and the other looked like a guy making his second start in the league. Post-September Bo Nix, well, let's just call this the glazing section, because it's fucking awesome. September, 1 touchdown, 4 picks, right? October, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick, and a passer rating above 100 twice. Unfortunately for the narrative, 3 of these games were against the Panthers, Raiders, and Saints. God forbid a rookie play well against shitty teams, right? The sacks last year drove Sean Payton insane, and it's gotten so much better with Bo Nix. Right now, he leads the AFC in sack percentage, getting dropped on just 4.04% of his dropbacks. That's better than 3 important guys right now, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. A big reason for that is his escapability, and we've seen those Houdini-level escapes multiple times this season. But he's also now getting good when teams send extra rushers. Post-week 4, when he had a passer rating of 65.8 against the blitz, he has figured it out since. He's got a passer rating of 115.6 against the blitz in the last 7 games, and over the last 4 games, it's jumped to 142.4. That doesn't include a couple bad sacks that he took against Kansas City's blitz a few weeks ago, which should be noted, but this is passer rating. So he's doing an excellent job of identifying the blitz and getting the ball to his hot receiver. Hot receiver? Someone say Big Dick Decker? I did.
Cocky right now. I mean, he's slinging it.
And the reason episodes like this are possible are because of my sponsor, Underdog. Make sure you use my code THATSGOOD if you're going to sign up and play fantasy or pick'em games at Underdog. They've been rocking with me for 3 straight years now. And again, if we get 10,000 signups there, they're going to be rocking with me for a very, very long time and ensuring that the lights stay on here and that I can help pay the great people who make this bullshit possible. Again, just use my code when you sign up. He's also keeping the ball out of harm's way. Even with the 4 early picks, he's still got a turnover-worthy play rate of just 1.4% this season, behind only Lamar Jackson and in front of Jayden Daniels and Joe Burrow. good company. He's had just one turnover-worthy play since week 4. That doesn't mean he won't take calculated chances, though. Bo leads the NFL in passing attempts that travel 20-plus yards downfield, which is definitely odd for a screen merchant, a check-down artist, the second coming of Kenny fucking Pickett. He also is connecting on more and more of those aggressive shots as the season wears on. This pass to Devon Vele was absurd. Maybe the best throw I've seen from a Broncos quarterback since Peyton Manning. You have to have so much confidence to even attempt, and a lot more in terms of precision to actually pull off this throw. I came away from that throw and that game as a whole feeling like we finally put a stop to the wretched carousel. And I don't want to see that graphic again, unless it's a shot of the carousel coming to a screeching halt and Bo Nix dry humping it into a million fucking pieces. Keep in mind, he's also a couple deep drop passes away from having some pretty insane numbers right now. The thing that indicates Nix is playing better isn't those deep balls, though. It's the fact that he's gotten much more proficient on his intermediate passes. This is where great quarterbacks make a living. You don't become the first rookie QB since the year of Santana and Rob Thomas. That's the year 2000. To have 18 total touchdowns and 2 or fewer turnovers in a 9-game stretch by not being able to work the middle of the field and the hashes. One reason Bo has been able to develop and digest Sean Payton's incredibly complex offense as a rookie is because the Broncos' offensive line is protecting him at an elite level. It took a few games to come together and a rotation of players at right tackle due to injuries, but Bo is lucky to have this group of earth movers in front of him.
Garrett Bowles, one of the biggest pricks in the NFL right now.
32% of his total pressures this season came in the first 2 weeks. Since then, along with Bo, they have gotten a lot better.
Watch all the linemen go down and finish this thing off. Tight ends are in there. Receivers are in there. All the linemen running. Everybody's getting down there. Let's carry this guy into the end zone.
They are a better unit than Caleb, Jayden, and Drake May have protecting them right now. And that's a massive luxury for Bo Nix. And we need to credit Sean Payton and George Payton for investing in building that unit. Now, outside of the normal things a rookie will struggle with, we also have to remember Bo is in the process of learning one of the most complex offenses in the NFL. That's not hyperbole. One Russ could not digest in the same amount of time. If Bill Belichick is trying to tell us how complicated Sean's offense is, I'd be keen to listen.
Sean runs a tough offense. He does. They substitute almost on every play. They change formations a lot. They don't repeat plays. They repeat concepts, but not plays. There's a lot for the quarterback to do to get things organized.
His opinions on social norms for dating, those you can take with a grain of salt. Knowing all of that, why are there still haters and detractors for Bo Nix? Well, with like any player in the NFL, I think some people just fucking hate him for whatever reason. But let's talk about the Ringer and their glorious, all-knowing quarterback rankings. For a long time, Bo Nix was outside of their top 32 QBs in the NFL, according to this archive of football omniscience. But recently, we've seen Nix win Offensive Rookie of the Month, and of course he played well against the Chiefs and lit up the Falcons. So surely, he's got to be climbing the steps of quarterback Valhalla, right? Wrong. According to the Ringer, he is only the 32nd ranked quarterback in the league. Just as context, there can only be 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL at any given moment. So that makes him the worst starter in our little football league, per the think tank at the Ringer. At one point, they had him ranked 39th. And as we've established, there are only 32 quarterbacks at any given time starting games. So that was worse than bad, right? I think it's very generous that Bo's 4-touchdown, no-turnover, 300-plus yard masterpiece was able to vault him into the realm of applicable starting quarterbacks. Thank you, Mr. Ringer. You know what? Just as I was writing this, the NFL named Bo Nix AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Not rookie, but player. But what do they know? I think we have an obligation to defer to the experts here at the Ringer. Of course, this is a list that has Jared Goff at 14 behind Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence, and Geno Smith. Drake May is at 25 right now, but I get that. That's so Bill Simmons doesn't garnish their wages at the Ringer. And I think the Ringer is speaking directly from a bullhorn that's pointed squarely at their asses. More specifically, they didn't like Bo in college, and they're coping really hard, clawing desperately onto their pre-draft evaluation because, as we all know, it's better to be right than evolve your opinion. And there are plenty of stats that should have changed your perception of Bo if you weren't high on him coming out of college. Oh, and yeah, maybe playing a lot of college football isn't actually a bad fucking thing. Maybe quarterbacks get better with time and reps. Maybe people change. Not the people at the Ringer, but a lot of other people do. Anyways, I digress. Here's why you should be changing your tune if you weren't high on Nix back in April. Leadership! What do you learn over the course of 5 years in college? Probably a lot of useless shit like physics, anthropology, how to make a bong out of literally anything. Okay, that's useful. But you also learn leadership skills, especially when you transfer and have to earn the respect of an entirely new team across the country. I've seen that from Bo. A lot of big things that sold a lot of us Broncos fans on Bo was this heated exchange with Sean Payton during the Raiders game. Peyton definitely liked him getting in his face too. He doesn't want a submissive yes man at quarterback. Nix also sticks up for his teammates, and he's done it all season long. On Troy Franklin's huge drop against the Raiders, Bo said it was his fault for overthrowing the ball. That was not how it appeared to those of us with eyes, but that's exactly what a leader says in front of a microphone. And then you flog them in the shower, like Tom Brady used to do to his receivers. After the horrendous blocked field goal against Kansas City, Bo defended Alex Forsythe, who got truck sticked into oblivion and allowed the block to happen.
Unfortunately, it's the game we play, and all of our mistakes are on national TV, and everyone sees them. And, there's a lot of, negative talk when somebody messes up, but I think it's, I think it should be known how valuable he is to our team, how much he is respected throughout our locker room.
Now, I realize those two guys were also his teammates at Oregon, but they're not the only ones responding to Bo. Just listen to what Pat Surtain, the best player on planet Earth, had to say.
Trying to win MVP. It's not even looking like offense rookie of the year. It looks like MVP right now, but man, it just goes. It's a testament to him. I mean, he puts the work in.
PS2 was engaging in a little bit of hyperbole as a rhetorical device to express how much confidence the leaders in the team have in their rookie quarterback. He is one of them. There's a reason he was named a captain before taking a single snap in the regular season. We're seeing it from opponents too. Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes were both impressed by Nix after the Kansas City game.
Bo Nix? Holy shit, that guy was fucking ripping it. Playing some good fucking football, man.
It would be so easy to throw in the towel in a hostile environment against the two-time reigning champs, but Nix led what could and should have been a game-winning drive in one of the toughest places to play against one of the toughest defenses the NFL has to offer. It was good to see how Bo responded in a high-leverage moment, especially after the entire team sucked against the Ravens the week before.
Well, except when Bo Nix got a touchdown. Let's see you do that shit, Drake May.
He passed that first test. Unfortunately, he could not also play special teams. Talk about a moment where we really did need 22 Janos. Quarterback efficiency isn't a sexy stat. You can't jerk to it. It's not an all-encompassing metric, but I like it because it shows Bo Nix is doing the little things well. More importantly, it shows Nix is better than Patrick Mahomes.
Outplayed Mahomes last week.
I tease, Pat. I actually really respect both Mahomes and Kelce giving Bo Nix praise. It's been hard to lose to those two fucks for the last 8 years, over and over and over again, as we cycle through quarterbacks and coaches in Denver. Knowing they think we got one here in the Mile High City with Bo Nix, it's cool. Hopefully, this praise, though, wasn't some voodoo dark magic where they get in his head and make him play shitty the next time we play the Chiefs. Because if he does, then you know it's because they said that stuff. That's how they do it over there. Don't forget they're cheating devil worshippers. So, how good is Bo Nix really? Simply, he's very good right now, with a lot of room to grow. He's not perfect yet. But before this season started, all Broncos fans wanted to see is a quarterback they could believe in for 2025. And unless Nix falls off a cliff as this season concludes, we have that. He's not better than Jayden Daniels yet, but he's getting damn near close. Here's my word of warning though in terms of expectations. Bo Nix could possibly play another bad game this season. It's within the realm of possibilities, and just get ready for all the naysayers to dunk on us if he does. But there are a couple other guys, CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, who did some absolutely insane things from the QB position in their first seasons as NFL starters. My expectations for them this year were extremely high, and rightfully so. But for different reasons, we have watched both of them regress a bit. So if it can happen to those guys who are on well-coached, good football teams, it can happen to anyone. And it's actually, I expect it to happen. Bo Nix, though, is a great case study in overreactions. Both when he was playing poorly and now that he's playing well. Social media does this weird thing where normal, level-headed opinions, takes, breakdowns, just get fucking buried deeper than Tom Brady when Elvis Dumervil obliterated him. Sucked into the black hole that is a machine built on clicks. Even though the beginning was rough, I was nowhere near ready to call Bo Nix bad through 3 weeks of football, certainly not a bust. And also, I am not ready to crown him right now.
If you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
Great quarterbacks are judged by entire bodies of work, not destroying shitty Falcons defenses and running the table in the NFC South. I love being NFC South champions, I do, but being the champion of the NFC South right now is like earning first prize at your school science fair for taking the biggest human shit. Meanwhile, Mahomes and Allen won first prize for showcasing that human shit can actually end global warming. It's exactly like that. We in Denver haven't had a quarterback on the right track like this, well, since John Elway. Keep in mind, Nix is actually playing far better as a rookie than John Elway. But after John, the Broncos have never actually developed a rookie quarterback. Maybe Jay Cutler? What happened there? Fuck you, McDaniels. We'll never know. Most Broncos fans have no clue what good development looks like because we've only been given examples of it all going wrong. But at this very moment, all I have to say is, God bless Bo Nix!
But I'll turn the other cheek and say you can eat my ass.
Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Only thing that will make me feel better than Bo Nix continuing to tear it up is knowing you are invested in every single thing I have to say about football on this godforsaken channel. Come on, be a heathen and subscribe.